What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go through a full walkthrough of how to kill the Genie King solo. Now, I do got to say right up front, this particular fight is completely trivial in a group. So, a group of 4 competent players is going to burn through this fight like it's absolutely nothing. Now, with that being said, a geared solo player can without a doubt get the job done, but you have to be just a little bit more cautious. Now, the whole mechanic with the Genie King is he is going to shoot out these different colored attacks at you. These are almost instant delivery with full aimbot mode, so it is very, very important to line of sight the Genie. That is really the thing that makes the boss fight so much easier in a group, is you can go through and experience almost the entire boss fight without getting targeted if you're lucky, as the Genie is going to target other players. Now, the difficulty scaling in a group is there are more of the other laser beam type mechanic that we will get into when we get to the boss fight. For each additional player that you add, as you go through the different stages of the Genie King, he's going to add 2 additional of these little laser beam boss guys out here that you're going to need to burn down to remove his shield. Now, in true fashion, with the current state of Dungeon Defenders 2, Chaos 9 is all about a gear check. It's just a straight up brute force game mode. Does not have any strategic counters or really the strategic value that was available to us in other Chaos tiers. So with that in mind, you're going to want to bring a single target damage weapon. It's all about damage reduction on the boss. You've got to burn through the shield, so bring yourself a single target damage weapon. The Ember Mount weapons are going to be best in slot. Just for lulz, I am bringing along this Deathwing. As you see, crit damage, crit chance, and focus power. This is 100% not meta. I do not suggest anyone put this together. This is just a single target damage that I had sitting, so it is one that I am using on this fight. Now, taking a look at the build, we're going to build it out just like we would most Chaos 9 maps. So for me personally, I'm using the Lavamancer's Fissures. The Fissures are just good stuff. Absolutely love them. Completely beast mode. We're going with Destruction, Mass Destruction, and Vampiric Empowerment with defense rate, Ember Mount Flames, and Anti-Chaos on those. Now, additionally, we are using an Oil Geyser to get that Ignite combo for the additional damage and to also hold our Destructive Pylon, and just throwing a Boost Star in the middle of it for a little extra pizzazz. We're going to rinse and repeat and do that exact same thing, basically on every lane. Some of the lanes, you're going to find that you don't really need to have 4 fissures. 3 is more than acceptable, and this lane is no different. We're going to just go 3 on this one, so let's just pop 3 right there. Now, over on this double lane, of course, a double lane equals double dip, so we can go ahead and go something like this and just cover the entire lane ourselves, and then we can throw a Boost Star, say, like right there to cover it all, and then just give each individual lane its own squirty for the Ignite combo and the Destructive Pylon buff. Now, making our way around the map. Did I forget about flyers? I did. Completely forgot about flyers. We got flyer lanes coming out. However, on this side of the map, they're coming out very close to the ground lane, so we can just really stack this lane up. In fact, with that in mind, I really didn't need to have 4 fissures here. Let's go ahead and get rid of one of those fissures. Let's go with just 3 on this lane. Now, I'm using a utility flame aura with the wrong mods for the job. So the only mod that's really getting any big benefit here is Defense Rate Servo. Then we're going with Empowering Aura, Deadly Strikes, and Destruction for just a little bit more damage. This, of course, is a utility aura. We are going to be using it to get our damage boost in with Empowering Aura. However, even a utility aura is strong enough for flyers, so we are just going to get 2 flame auras right here and making sure that your flame auras are covering the flyer path. Now let's go ahead and make our way down to our lower lane here. This particular lane can be quite tricky, particularly if you get yourself a cannon ogre or something like that. In this one, we'll go with 4 here. Let's get our 4 auras down. And then we'll just drop a squirty back far enough to make sure Destructive Pylon hits it all. And get a boost aura in. Then we got another shorty lane here. This one is, from my experience, has been a 3 Fisher lane, no problems. Throwing 3 down right there with our Destructive Pylon and our boost aura. And then, of course, we've got another flyer lane right here, so we want to burn those out as well. We're just going to give these flyers their own little killing area. I am going to give them Destructive Pylon, but I'm not going to bother with the boost aura there. Now, making our way back around, we see we've got all of the lanes built as far as just like general use and just burning through the packs of mobs. Next up, we're going to want to give ourselves a little bit of protection. Now, since we're playing solo and we have to line of sight all of those little laser beams, pick your spot, find the spot you like the best. I've been using this little hidey hole here as my hiding spot to LOS those laser beams. Now, over here, we're going to go ahead and give ourselves a World Tree for some healing and additional crit damage. And then, additionally, we are going to throw in an Obelisk. An Obelisk, of course, is going to be giving us the damage buff. Now, it's important throughout the course of the map. Only upgrade the Obelisk once. Don't hit it more than that, as each time you upgrade the Obelisk, it gives it a different attack. And we want basically the same attacks going off. Now, in addition to that, we're going to throw one more Flame Aura in here just to make sure we're constantly, as we're hiding, getting that Empowered Aura buff. You will get some rando shots at the cores on this one, so having Reflect Beams is kind of nice. We're going to go with something like this, a Reflect Beam right here, and then, actually, I'm at the wrong lane. This one we want to go with a Reflect Beam, something like this, covering more of that lower side. And then up here, we're going to get a Reflect Beam in like so. And then with our remaining 80 DU, I usually like to put in a Proton Beam right here. That's going to leave you 40 extra. This Proton Beam is going to be for Assassin Removal. Now, of course, if you're using full tenacity mods on all your armor that are 10 out of 10 in Chaos 8, then you don't have to worry about that. However, I hate using or wasting that mod slot, so I just go with a little Proton Beam there for the Assassin Removal. Now, going through the lanes, or going through the waves, progressing up to the boss, it's going to be just like doing any other Chaos 9 map. There is a new mini-boss. However, it's going to be a relatively trivial experience if you're already geared. Just let the map run. Now, when you get to the boss wave, the boss is going to pop. First thing you're going to have to do is crack through the initial boss's damage threshold. Once you burn through the initial threshold, making sure to line of sight the entire time to keep yourself from getting wrecked, then it is going to enter the second stage where it adds the additional mechanic. Now, at this point, the mechanic is going to give the boss an invulnerability shield. However, he's going to be shooting out these little laser beam links out to various targets or mini-bosses that have spawned throughout the map. By killing all of those mini-bosses, you're going to remove that invulnerability shield and then be able to burn through the boss on that stage. Now, you're going to have to rinse and repeat and do this again, and then after you kill off those mini-bosses, you are going to just burn the boss down for a happy experience. Now, of course, as I mentioned earlier, the attacks are quite brutal when you're solo, so line of sight is super, super important. If you're playing in a group, this mechanic becomes completely trivial, as you're going to have 4 players running around doing damage, and only 1 player is going to be getting targeted most of the time, so it becomes very, very easy. There is crowd control that's going to stun lock you in place, and additionally, there is a pink beam. The pink beam you're going to want to watch out for, as the damage on the pink beam does ramp up, and it will burn you with any amount of health very, very quickly, even standing inside of your heals. So without question, line of sight the pink beam, stay away from it. A lot of the other attacks you can just heal through with a tree and with some natural regen. However, that pink beam is vicious. So hopefully everyone enjoys their experience on the new map with the new boss and gets all of the fat loot. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see ya next time around. Take it easy.